Hello,
Hi,
Hope.
Jessica.
How are you today?
Hi. Oh, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Now, I have to start off by asking you, what's Shamar's deal? How hard was he to get along with on Survivor?
Oh, man, this is, the number one question that I get.
I bet.
I don't know real life Shamar at all.
Uh-huh.
I only know Survivor Shamar.
Yeah.
But I will say, you heard it yourself in the episode, his strategy was to make camp life miserable and to make everyone around him miserable. And that is essentially what he did. He didn't really help out much around camp, and he, consistently and continued to yell at those who were voting to keep him around. And he definitely made it hard on everyone else.
I know it must sting a little bit for you who is sitting here talking to me when we still see him on the show.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't even tell you how I'm going to feel watching him on the show, now that I'm out. It's definitely the most frustrating thing for me, because you heard him say time and time again how he didn't really want to be there, and I really wanted to be there, and he was just making everyone so miserable. And it's going to be very frustrating for me to watch.
Now, what happened to you? Do you think joining the quote-unquote Pretty People Alliance is what sealed your fate?
I think it's actually comical to watch the show now and see how it was kind of put together, because in my mind, it was never an alliance of 4, and the name, the cool kids, or the Pretty People Alliance, like that just makes my skin crawl hearing that. But I always thought of it as a secret alliance of 5. We thought we had Matt with us in the beginning, and so I never saw it as an alliance of 4. I always saw an alliance of 5, and so it was definitely a hard hit to our alliance whenever Matt kind of played us and it demonstrated how much of Survivor is about making and breaking alliances, and that's what he did. And he voted against us. Our numbers fell short, and it was definitely a hard hit.
So let's talk about breaking alliances for a second. So Shamar, he approached you on the beach, and he said, one great way to stay in the game is to vote out Eddie. Why didn't you do that?
Right. So, you had to think in that moment, our entire tribe, there was so much talk going on, so much strategizing going on. Everyone was feeling very, very uneasy.
Okay.
And so, I decided, just for the simple fact that I didn't necessarily trust Shamar, and I didn't trust his motives behind telling me that. And so instead of switching on my alliance and taking Shamar's word and voting Eddie out, I decided to try my hardest to kind of flip it around on Shamar and, do my own strategy by going back to his alliance and saying, hey, Shamar, someone who is already making you miserable, is also an untrustworthy member of your alliance. He essentially just laid out your game plan to me and kind of, threw you guys under the bus. So we should all come together and vote him out. And Laura and Julia said, absolutely, we're in. That's what we're going to do. And I decided to try and bank on that happening before voting out someone from my alliance. So, unfortunately it didn't work out, but anything could happen in Survivor, and it definitely could have. So, unfortunately it didn't.
Well, I know you don't want to talk about him anymore, so let's talk about this. So, you were... No problem. So, you were on the fan tribe, so you knew a lot about Survivor going into the game. So what really surprised you most about being on Survivor?
Yeah, well, actually, I will say what surprised me most was how real it was, and how challenging and physically and mentally demanding it was. Because, I've been a fan of the show, and I've loved watching it. But whenever you watch reality TV, somewhere in the back of your mind, you kind of assume, like, okay, that can't all be real. There's probably, like, a granola bar hidden behind the camera, or probably some sort of assistance behind the camera, or extra clothes. And honestly, we had nothing. We had the clothes that were on our back. We had no food, it was very real, very challenging, and I think that was very surprising to me.
I don't know how you do it. I wouldn't be very good at that.
It was definitely the hardest thing I've ever done.
Uh-huh.
It was the craziest experience.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I won't keep you long because I know you guys are behind time, so I have one more question for you. If you had to pick one fan and one favorite to root for, who would it be?
One fan and one favorite?
Yeah.
Ooh, this is tricky. All right, well, for favorite, I would root for Brenda.
Okay.
Just because I've always been a really big fan of hers, and I like the way that she plays the game. So I would pick her. And then for the fans, that's tough. I think that this is going to come as a surprise, but I think I would pick Matt.
All right.
Just because even though he kind of threw me under the bus personally, I still think he's a really great guy, and I think he's good at playing the game of Survivor.
Great answer. Well, thanks for joining me today on myFM, Hope.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It was good to talk to you.
Yeah, you too. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.